Native Fascism, How It Can Happen Here by Shirley Lawrence. Despite the popular belief that fascism is a collective madness peculiar to certain evil nations abroad, it should be recognized by every anti-fascist that the seeds of fascism are inherent in every capitalist country. Although there are differences in form, the content of American fascism is the same of that of Europe, in that fascism in reality serves big business interests, although masquerading as anti-capitalist. That this has been amply borne out is evident when we consider some of the native and ill-assorted and anti-labor and anti-democratic movements which have flourished here. Skipping ahead, a big business weapon, that fascism is synonymous with all that is reactionary, retrogressive, and corrupt in society is quite clear and leads to but one conclusion. Fascism can be fought only by militant, working-class action. If the workers depend upon the reformist labor leaders, they will suffer defeat, because the reformists represent the interests not of the workers, but of so-called liberal capitalism. And when it comes to a showdown, liberal capitalism simply drops the adjective. It protests, but is powerless since it does not know how to fight fascism. We have as of yet no strong labor party to counterpose a genuine labor program for the people against the inroads of the fascists. But we do have the lessons of the past decade to guide us. We have learned that big business, in order to survive, maintains the fascist gangs merely as anti-labor militia at first, whose job is simply to terrorize and demoralize the workers' organizations. They help break strikes, beat up and the workers' leaders, wreck union offices and left-wing newspaper plants. As capitalist crisis intensifies, big business finds that this is not enough and launches its fascist troops towards the conquest of state power. Thus, labor must organize the fight against fascism. It must organize its own defense guards to be ready for the fascist violence. It must organize an independent labor party based on the unions to bring about the victory of a genuine working class program. Prepare labor's struggle. Labor should learn the lessons of the past decade. Its organizations are among the first to be uprooted under fascism. Wages were reduced in Germany, hours lengthened, and conditions considerably worsened immediately after Mustache Man came to power. We must fight fascism with the consciousness that always, everywhere, it is financed by and serves the interests of big business, that it is condoned by the government, and that labor is always the victim. We must have a constructive and strong counter program. We need to form a labor party based on the trade unions with its own workers' defense guards to be the vanguard in opposing the treachery and violence of the fascists. The deepening economic crisis may be expected to make it easier for the fascists to unite. The same economic crisis that spurs big business to launch a fascist coup will also put the masses of people into a state of unrest, ready to follow whatever political path seems to promise escape from their misery. We are already experiencing the first fruits of the end of the war in Europe, in cutbacks, layoffs, and unemployment. The workers must shake free of their present do-nothing leadership and prepare the struggle against reaction at home. Fascism cannot be fought by compromise or concession, but only by militant working class action.